Hey there. Last episode, we began our journey to better understand how even healing internally relies on setting goals and then mapping out the necessary steps to take to achieve total healing. So much of our desire in every area of life points back to our daily quest for personal success. And yet, we hardly acknowledge how vital our inner health is to our quality of life and ability to experience personal success. This said, today we're taking the next step, planning the process. I'm pretty passionate about this topic and excited to show you how to navigate this wilderness and emerge restored and empowered. In today's episode, you'll get an inside look at what planning to heal actually looks like. You'll hear about my own healing plan process and triumphs, and you'll gain some tricks to try out for yourself in your own journey. Do you crave better self-esteem and confidence but feel stuck in a fog of uncertainty? If you're ready to gain clarity on your goals and cut yourself free from the fear, self-doubt, and worry holding you back, this show is for you. I'm Jennifer DeBellis, award-winning author, speaker, and clarity coach. I help women like you restore their inner worlds and get clear on their goals to confidently fulfill their greatest desires. Ready to restore your inner warrior? Then turn off those distractions and tune in to this next episode. Hey girl, are you tired of living in a fog of uncertainty when it comes to fully imagining and achieving your goals? Let me show you how to chart out your goals with a customized map that pinpoints exactly where to start and which direction to go first. My Zero to Clear Clarity Coaching simplifies this process and helps you tap into resources already within reach. Zero to Clear will help you fully imagine your goals, map out actionable steps to take, and show you how to finally begin that journey toward finding personal success. You don't need to keep throwing away money and precious time or feeling defeated by uncertainty, worry, and stress. Just like that personal success you crave, clearly seeing, setting, and working toward those goals should feel good and fulfilling, and you will be able to see and feel progress along the way with my coaching. Book a Zero to Clear coaching call and let me show you how easy it is to begin living your best life today. Use the link below or find one at restoreYourInnerWarrior.org/0-2-clear-coaching. Today I'm going to blend some story time reading from one of my self-help books with some goal-setting strategies I build on in my forthcoming book, Restore Your Inner Warrior, which builds off of this podcast series. I'm including these excerpts in the video version of this episode, so you can find a link to the video version if you're listening to the audio version in the show notes below. And if you're interested in reading more about the excerpts that I'm going to share, or even getting your hands on the journal pages from Warrior Sister Cut Yourself Free, either in the ebook version or in the print edition, find a link also to that in the show notes below. Okay, so I'm going to read today from a section that is called From the Sweat of Your Brow Comes Success. A lot of my recovery resilience is connected to my spiritual life. If you're not a spiritual person, that's okay, because this isn't about to dive into a spiritual message or a salvation call. If you're looking for that, though, there are plenty of other books out there that serve this purpose. I want to mention the faith-inspired aspects of recovery because they inform some core strategies in the challenges section and are also misunderstood by people from all walks of life. I operate by faith in all areas of my life. Recovery is no exception. At its core, spiritual faith is placing your hope in the promise of things to come. What drives this hope is faith in, of, and from a higher power that is rooted in the belief that there is a way out of every situation where you emerge the victor. This way out is usually accomplished through guided steps and processes where you, the one hoping to be the victor at the end of your story, are an active participant in completing these things. Don't expect some lightning bolt to strike down and miraculously shock you with your full recovery. Though miracles do happen, none of us would be reading this page right now if our recovery had already been supernaturally handed down to us. I've worked through my own recoveries with my own sweat and resources that I've been led to or given, heavenly or earthly. And I'm okay with this reality because this work ethic and outlook have shaped my character and informed all areas of my life. When you work for your own personal success, victory is never sweeter. It surprises me how many people I've crossed paths with who live by the notion that they will give their burden to God, a therapist, or a trusted confidant who will work it all out for them. Things don't get resolved this way. Seeking help is just that, assistance in some form. This reminds me of a parable about a man who operates this way, and it costs him his life. Perhaps you've heard it before. Here's my version of the story. There's a man who gets swept up in a flood. He manages to grab onto a tree to stop himself from getting carried off to his death. He prays, "God, save me." Within minutes, he hears a loud clunk on the other side of the trunk he holds for dear life. He's able to grab the object and pull it around. It's a kayak. He's always loved a kayak, he thinks, releasing the boat to the current. Shortly after, two guys in a rowboat approach and ask the man if he needs help. "Thanks," he replies, "but help is on the way." The men nod and row away. The man begins to shiver. An hour passes before a helicopter hovers overhead. "Hey!" an air rescue ranger shouts as he slides down a rope. He lowers a tethered harness toward the man. "Slip your arms through this and fasten it around your waist," he says. "No, thanks," the stranded man replies. "Help is on the way." The perplexed ranger flips a thumbs up to the pilot and they fly away. Eventually, the guy can't hold on any longer. He drowns in the floodwaters that carry him away. When he gets to heaven, he says to God, "Why didn't you save me? I prayed and prayed and you never came." God shakes his head. "I tried to save you. I left a tree standing in your path so you could pull yourself to safety. I ensured its branches were low enough for you to climb out of the water until the storm calmed. When you didn't help yourself up the tree, I sent the kayak, which you surrendered to the current. So I sent the men in the rowboat, which you turned away. As a last attempt, I had my best guys offer to airlift you to safety, but you refused the helicopter's help." The man is bewildered. "That was you the whole time?" he says. "Yes, I was in all of that, but even I can't help you if you won't help yourself." And here's the thing, fellow traveler. No matter what methods, strategies, and/or assistance you consider, none of them will help you with your recovery if you don't do your part. Every ounce of progress you make on your recovery journey will come from the sweat of your own brow. Every strategy, process, and resource will require you to take a step to work through the particular trauma point. Even a prescription will require you to take a specific dose at a fixed time. The medication won't do a thing to treat your symptoms if it remains in the bottle on your nightstand, nor will it work properly if you don't take the prescribed dose as stated. You must do the work to complete each step in your recovery. Sadly, no one can walk this leg of your journey for you. Even though life sometimes throws you into these traumatic situations, you have what it takes to be your own hero and save your own lost world. Inside each of you is that Alita warrior spirit. There has never been a better time than right now to come back to life, to reclaim your power, restore your identity, and recover your world. Everything you need to begin is right here. Warrior sister, are you ready to be the hero and reclaim your rightful place in your own life? All right, and then this next part comes from New Habits Take Some Training, a Rift challenge, a 30-day restoration journey. Picture this. You end up rediscovering a place of mental freedom and self-worth you never imagined experiencing again after just 1 month of simple reflections and simple changes. Close your eyes. Visualize yourself standing in a field bursting with freedom. Are you imagining it? You can find your way to this place and begin to live there by investing about 10 minutes every day for 30 days. It won't be the end of your journey, but you will be amazed at what you can accomplish in just 1 month's time. The patterns of repetition repeat every week in this 30-day restoration journey. Day 1 has a distinct focus, as does each respective day that follows. Day 8 then returns to day 1 focus and repeats the pattern. The repeating pattern is designed with a twofold vision. The first is that it will guide you along your recovery journey and lead you toward that place of freedom. The second is that it will become a part of your internal way of living in navigating your lifetime journey. Ultimately, the weekly pattern is meant to be adopted as a lifestyle change. This said, there is another challenge that isolates the week-long pattern. Each day's initiative varies and includes reflections, small changes, and actions. Because accountability is a large part of maintaining and finishing any challenge or journey, there's a journal component for each day. How you journal about your day isn't as important as the activity of writing what you will commit to your day or recording the results from your experience during the day's activity. Don't underestimate this disciplined exercise. Trust me when I say there is power, accountability, and inspiration in this simple act. The journaling component may help you right through some grief stages, perhaps even offering you ways to connect aspects of your grief to that day's objective. Keep in mind, connecting each day's objective to any grief stages you're dealing with is essential to working through your trauma. Use and adjust the journal section to best fit your needs. So, the startup day. Think of your startup day as the day you develop a vision and focus for your 30-day journey, along with what you expect to gain from your experience. Here's your opportunity to make a list of your short-term and long-term goals for your recovery and your life thereafter. This step is vital at the onset of your recovery journey. Like anything else in life for which you want lasting, life-altering results, you must be intentional from the very beginning. You must have an action plan and a mission for how to execute it. This reflective step helps you identify what you specifically want and how you see yourself achieving it. It becomes a list you can revisit during your journey, guiding you on your unique daily process toward restoration. If you're a faith person, this list with all its specificity will also act as a confession of your current and future desires, which you can lift up in prayer and petition. So the last few things I just want to share from the book itself in brief is that after the startup day comes day one, which is a pay it forward day. And this is one with a twist where the focus is on acts that align with your own dialect of needs that you have. Day two is your self-love day. Day three is talk it out day. Day four is walk it out day. Day five is confront fear day. Day six is nesting day. Day seven is rest and recharge day. And then, of course, at the end of the whole entire 30 days of this particular journey is day 30, which is the wrap up day. And this is where, again, just like the startup day, you come back around and you write some things down and you assess and you reflect on everything that came in that 30-day process. So I want to deviate from this habit forming action plan that I talk about in Warrior Sister, and I want to talk about a different type of plan, the one that I'm kind of outlining for Restore Your Inner Warrior. In this one, it focuses on a specific area of need and then charts out a process and action plan to fully and successfully recover. So where in Warrior Sister, the focus is on developing daily self-love habits that greatly enhance your quality of life and also improve all these different areas that you need to work through and recover from. In the Restore Your Inner Warrior version, I want to actually isolate in on particular things and really expand on this goal setting for personal success in particular areas. And I'm really excited to share this book with you in the very near future. But in the meantime, I want to drill deeper into this action plan topic. So recently, probably because, our devices are listening to us, and I've been working on this particular series, my social media feeds are filled with all of these, not just inspirational things that tie into these topics that we're talking about, but I keep seeing one particular clip that keeps resurfacing across all my different platforms. And that is the one where Reese Witherspoon, where she talks about what led her to begin directing films that featured empowered and dimensional female characters. So in this clip, she's going through the cliche phrase that she and other female actresses kept seeing in scripts, or you can hear it in films where there are female support characters, and in a moment of crisis, the world is falling apart, or something horrible is happening, and then the girl says, "Well, what should we do?" And she cracks the joke that no woman ever asks that question because they're the problem solvers. We're the ones who go into action right away. We usually start telling other people what they need to do in real time. We're processing it and we're also already in action. And so I love the clip because she is a kindred spirit in this regard, where she's frustrated with this misrepresentation of women's attitudes. But there's something that sticks out to me about what she's talking about that is a ridiculous mindset that sometimes many of us adopt when we're working in a specific support network. So, what I mean is, we adopt this ridiculous attitude in real life when it comes to our own moments of crisis or need. So, for instance, I'm going to use the therapist scenario here. So we get through this session with the therapist, we make ourselves completely vulnerable, we share some things, and this therapist starts to tell us, okay, your homework for this week is I want you to do this and that and whatever else. And then, okay, I'm going to open up my date book, let's set our next appointment. And then you're sitting there saying, okay, you feel the panic setting in and it's the end of the appointment and you are like, oh my God, I just have one thought or one question that actually maybe even comes out of your mouth, which is like, well, what am I supposed to do until I see you next? The therapist is like, the work. Do the work, silly. And, like we're supposed to then take everything that we have so far that we've surfaced or we've explored. We're supposed to take what we've exposed and maybe some of the strategies and the skills or the tools that the therapist is going to share with us. We're supposed to put those to practice. We are going to have to figure some things out. We're going to have to make some changes. We're going to have to practice some of the strategies that we just discussed. We're going to have to do all of these above things. And we're also going to have to go through our regular everyday life while we're also trying to do these things and maybe adopt some very important lifestyle changes or make some very important changes in our life. And this is just the nature of continuing to live in real time while we're also continuing to work through things in real time. So when you think about this idea of, here I have a crisis, or like what the focus is this week is I have, just think about just one place inside of you that needs some inner healing. And you go, okay, there's the one thing. I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to take these particular things that we talked about, like maybe what we talked about last week, which is just envisioning what needs to happen, or envisioning that there is a crisis, or that there is an area in our internal world that needs healing. And then today we're talking about, okay, let's map out some things that need to be done. I do this with my coaching students, usually on our first call. We get through step 1 and step 2. Sometimes we'll work into the third step, which I'm not going to get ahead of myself yet today. We'll talk about that in coming episodes. But those are the 2 primary steps that we start to work through. And then you've got to take the next steps into your life and into your reality. And you've got to put some of these things to practice. So as we wrap up today, I want you to consider, how might you enter this next week with this renewed mindset on setting clear plans and actionable steps to take to heal whatever it is internally that you're struggling with right now. Maybe it's multiple things, but I think like if you just pick something, like don't try to solve everything in one sitting. Nothing in life works that way. And if we try to do it, we know it just doesn't work well. So pick something. It can be the biggest thing. Go ahead and pick the biggest thing if you're like, I can't function until I try to confront this or deal with this. Go ahead and pick that. If you think there's a bunch of little things that maybe feed into this bigger thing or have nothing to do with it, just pick something to say, okay, I'm going to be really intentional about trying step 1 and step 2 here and planning out some things. And then I'm going to also maybe take a third step, which is to put something to practice, to take some actionable step. So beyond the first step that we took last week to envision the outcome of our healing process, what step can you take next to 1, plan, and then 2, act on achieving your goals to heal in this whatever area it is that you decide that you're going to hyper focus on, okay? And if you work through that, if it's super easy and you're like, wow, that wasn't so bad, and look, I survived, then maybe pick another one and pick another one, and then just keep applying the same principles. Maybe you've got to break down a bigger issue into much smaller steps, and then just work through one. Don't think like, okay, I've accomplished one, I'm going to do my victory lap, and then it's over. Like, keep the momentum going, and keep remembering that your total healing is what you're ultimately after. That should be a goal. So when you're goal setting, you might have the objective to totally heal in this particular area, but I'm just going to take these specific micro elements and work through them so that I can look at this ultimately or eventually as a macro thing. But you don't want to stop just because you made progress. And that's a trap that a lot of us fall into also, is that we make progress, we've accomplished something, we check it off the list, and then we're like, oh, okay, now I can just go back to whatever, life. Again, keep your eye on the prize. So I hope you're encouraged by this. And I hope by the time we meet again next week that you feel that sense of empowerment just radiating. Well, girl, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, follow my channel and share it with friends who also want to restore their self-worth and confidence. And if you're ready to get clarity and big picture vision on your goals, consider booking a one-on-one coaching session with me. Find a link in the show notes below to book a session. And as you go through your week, may your empowered spirit, heart, and mind guide you. Catch new episodes every Saturday. Ciao.